Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Ken for May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. 2021 brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry. Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best dentist that there is. Make him your dentist. Do it today. Make the call 317-849-2933. Hit subscribe, hit like, follow, do all that stuff. Let's go. Let's talk about sports. Charles Leno will be a free agent June 1st. Not yet, though. So the Colts can't sign him yet. Should the Colts be all excited about Charles Leno? Here are his statistics, all right? He allowed 4.5 sacks last year. 7 quarterback hits. He committed 7 penalties. Anthony Costanzo, conversely, 3 sacks. He allowed just 2. You know what? 2 penalties against Anthony Costanzo. However, Phillip Rivers got rid of the ball a hell of a lot faster than Mitchell Trubisky. So it's not apples to apples. Playing next to Quentin Nelson, you got to figure out what effect that had on Anthony Costanzo's stats and what playing next to his guard had on Charles Leno. So there you go. We don't know. We know that he would be an upgrade. According to Pro Football Focus, a massive upgrade over Sam Tevi. So the Colts looking at upgrades at left tackle. Will Charles Leno be the guy? We'll find out around June 1st, I think. They got to do something. You can't go into the season with Sam Tevi. You just can't. And you can't pay everybody across your offensive line $15 to $20 million. You can't do that. You cannot spend $75 million on your offensive line. That's unsustainable. You've got to take the $180 million, you've got $190 million, and parse it out across different position groups. If you're spending 40% of your cap space on your offensive line, that is going to cause a problem with other position groups, and the Colts can't have that. They have formulas that they've got to kind of fit as far as finance, and paying the offensive line $75 million is not something that you can afford to do. No team can. Or you're going to have, just a bunch of guys at other positions, because you're going to pay your quarterback $25 million, right? So that's $100 million already. 5 offensive linemen, a quarterback, half your cap space gone. What kind of a defense are you going to be able to put together? It's ridiculous. So there you go. Want to talk about names on jerseys. Somebody started this yesterday on Twitter and involved a bunch of sports media people. Me and Dustin DePirac and Zach Osterman, Kenny Bykoff. A lot of people throwing in their opinions, names on jerseys as it affects name, image, likeness value at Indiana University. Do you want, if it's perceived that names being on jerseys has brand value, do you want a recruiting kind of liability at Indiana because the names are on the jerseys elsewhere? I don't think names on the jerseys have a damn bit of difference. They don't make any difference whatsoever to brand value. We know who these guys are. People who follow Indiana basketball know who they're looking at. You don't need a name on the jersey. You can't really see the name on the jersey. For God's sake, people watching the game can't see the names on the jerseys. At some schools, the names on the jerseys are so small that you can't make out the letters. So I don't think it has anything to do with the price of tea in China at all. What has to happen is they need to employ a brand manager for these players, somebody who at a high level can make sure that the brands of these players are being maximized so they get paid top dollar. It's going to become a financial arms race with NIL stuff where players are going to look at how much each player is being paid for their name, image, and likeness, and the school that helps monetize those names, images, and likenesses best. They're going to be the ones who win the recruiting battles. And it already happens. I mean, let's be honest. These players at a lot of places get paid already. So I don't think it's that big a deal. For me, don't put the names on the jerseys. Names on the jerseys please one faction of people who I think are the least important in all of college basketball, all of college athletics, and that's parents. Don't please parents. Trying to please parents is just fruitless. For God's sake, parents are the worst part of youth sports, probably the worst part of college sports. Parents are insane. They got to stop, but they won't. They keep getting worse, and it's just unbelievable. I think you leave the uniforms the way they are. I think Indiana's brand is stronger because there are no names on the backs. It's a point of identification, a point of differentiation that Indiana has that I think is important to Indiana fans, and I think Indiana fans confer an amount of value on these players because they like that. You play for the name on the front of the shirt, not the back of the shirt. Players can't see the name on their backs. For God's sake, hey, what's it say? You can't do that. The only people who care are parents. Pacers, terrible last night. Gave up 154 points. They lose not only 154 points, they gave 50 assists. 50! That's a lot. That's historic. The Wizards beat the Pacers 154-141. Russell Westbrook with a triple-double. Listen to these numbers. Only 14 points, but 21 rebounds and 24 assists. What the hell are the Pacers doing? Do you have any pride? For the love of God, play with some pride. Defense is all about hard work and grit and pride. Nothing. I know you're without Brogdon, and you're without Miles Turner, the rim protector, and you're without T.J. Warren. I know. That's not good. Dan Burke left. Nate McMillan left. Did the Pacers make the right move in replacing Nate McMillan? If Nate McMillan hadn't gone, Dan Burke probably stays. And you know what? That's a big loss because Dan Burke was kind of that defensive guru, and the Pacers are playing no defense whatsoever. And this isn't good. The Pacers now 1.5 game ahead of the Wizards for the 9th spot. They could fall into the 10th spot. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe the Pacers want the 10th spot because they would open that goofy play-in nonsense on the road in Washington. Pacers have their next 3 at home, and normally that'd be a good thing, but their home record is woeful. Their home record is 11-19. That ain't good. So they're going to play against, they've got Sacramento, Atlanta, and then Washington. Only 8 games left in the season. They're 3.5 up on the Toronto Raptors. So they've kind of got that playoff spot salted away for all intents and purposes. But going into the playoffs 10th, I mean, what's the point? Just terrible. Pacers not playing good basketball on the defensive end at all. And I know it's about offense, but we're not stupid. We don't want to sit and watch a bunch of NBA All-Star Game-like events. I know they scored 100. They scored an NBA, or their NBA record, the franchise NBA record, 152 points. Not 48 hours ago, or not 72 hours ago. And then yesterday, they allow 154. What the hell's going on? When did Doug Moe all of a sudden become the coach of the Indiana Pacers? Should the Indy 500 be blacked out? 135,000 fans are going to be allowed at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I don't think that fans who can't get tickets should be penalized in central Indiana and unable to watch the Indy 500 because of COVID. I think it'd be ridiculous. And the blackout, just on principle, is absurd. No other event in the United States has a local blackout. None. You know why? Because they don't work. They are not productive. They do not benefit attendance. The last time, when there's a full house at the 100th Indy 500, and they lifted the blackout, they had 350,000 people show up. Television enhances attendance. What are you doing? Television enhances attendance. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks, the last major league team to enforce a home local blackout. And when they lifted it, what happened? Average attendance went from like 5,000 to 7,000 a game to a full house at the United Center. Now that coincided with the Blackhawks getting really good. But that's what happened. When you expose your fans to the magic of your event at your home facility, like the United Center in Chicago, what you do is you make it more attractive, especially to young people. There are young people in central Indiana, or at least there were when that TV blackout was enforced year after year after year, who had never seen the Indy 500 because who wants to watch a tape-delayed broadcast of it? So people locally, kids, what do they care about the Indy 500 at 7 o'clock at night, for God's sake? It's absurd. Lift the blackout and do it forever. My God. I mean, really, that's the most antiquated, nonsensical thinking. Roger Penske's smarter than this. I know the Holman George family, they kind of adhered to traditions, maybe to a fault. Penske's smarter than that, has to understand that the blackout is counterproductive to his making more money. He knows how to make money. I think that TV blackout goes away forever, and it should. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? This is just terrible. Terrible Tuesday. It's going to be rainy all day. Just nonsense weather. Brian Wilkes, Chuck Lofton, what are you doing to us? May. Well, let's get the rain out of the way in May, right? And have a nice late May for the Rays, qualifications, practice, all of that stuff. Let's do that. All right. Birthdays. Chris Dugan, happy birthday. Matt Mott, happy birthday. Karina Ortel, Mike Taylor, Kim Houston Neville, celebrating a birthday. Michael Picar, Eric Clemens, and Greg Matters, happy birthday. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That is best done with an honest and specific compliment. Today, inside Indiana Sports Now, we are going to spend some more time talking about names on the backs of the jerseys, traditions at Indiana University and within the Indiana University basketball program that need to be adhered to. And then we'll talk about the blackout with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indy 500, a tradition that should be dispensed with immediately because it makes no sense. Have a great day. Lift somebody, right? Lift somebody. Make today better. Have we not learned that life is precious and it's fragile and it ends? And it's awful when it ends. Make people's lives while we're here better. Stop being so damn cranky. Stop honking at people on the roads. Stop trying to hurry through life. Take a deep breath. Allow people to enjoy themselves and be a part of that enjoyment. How about that?